Here we are, guys, back for another tutorial. Southern Pines hole 9, par 5. I really like this one. A whole range of possibilities to go about doing this. So you can see that we have kind of a wind where we can potentially get over. What I'm going to do for you guys here, I'm just going to kind of lay up towards the right. So I'm going to kind of take care of your average case situation here. You can see that I'm using very little spin and just trying to, roll it out reasonably. And I'll play very close to 1 per ring here for my ring adjustment. And maybe just offset this ball guide just slightly, just to kind of straighten it out and actually get it going on plane with where I wanted it in terms of depth. And hopefully, I can get it down here quite a bit ways. I like to go to the right on this hole, pretty much as an average case, since we didn't have a tailwind where we could go to the other side. We could have still got to the other side, but you guys with maybe a POC 4, Thor 4, Thor 5, it's going to be more of a struggle to get over to the other side. So that's why you see me laying up kind of into the average case, as I was mentioning. And you can see that we're just going to play out over into the opening. But let me just talk about what I just did in case you have alternate clubs. I forgot how many rings, but right around plus 10% is very close. You can see that you're shooting down to a lower target, so you'll need to do a little bit of extra wind effect even without going into overpower. So in the situation that I'm going into overpower, I might go to plus 20%, 8 rings, for example. So just something to be thinking about. But what I like about going this way is it gives me a very diverse range of opportunity here. So here you can see that looks like I have this just a little bit too high, so I'm going to position that just a little bit lower, 8.9. Especially with a tailwind case, we're going to be looking at maybe about 10 rings down as kind of our landing zone. I do anticipate this to just clip that rough if I was to go over here. So when it clips the rough, I'll usually try to back off of my top spin a little bit. And I'll probably use maybe max foam curl here. No, I don't even need curl. Just going to go straight, perfect ball. Just let it skip through the top half of this rough here. And you can see, as I mentioned, just back off that top spin just so you can get it just into this fairway, kind of positioned nicely. Shots like that are kind of the beauty of this new situation because, your opponent has no relative idea of what you just did, which is nice. It gives, the potential to obtain an advantage on certain situations, and this is kind of a perfect situation where, you don't know what your opponent's mindset is, how much topspin they're going to put on it. Maybe they go full, and going full here is probably going to push you through. But as you can see, he still pulled it off, so he kind of, has a good sense of how much to use. He probably used very similar topspin. What I usually do here is very close to no elevation change, and we'll just try to scan. Looks like we're very much towards min club, so I might push this slider very close to min club. It's actually a very, very challenging shot. It's very touch and go when you land around this spot. It doesn't like to roll out very consistent, but you can see what I'm doing with my offset. A little bit offset and short, and then aside from that, I'll try to go these 4.3-ish rings, maybe right in here with my ring adjustment. Perfect ball. It looks like I needed just a little bit more, just a hair bit too much on the offset. So you can see that I probably had it about 2 yards short, and it looks like it needed 1 yard short. And 1 yard short would have been plenty for it to roll through. Another thing that I could have done is, just maybe, I might have had that very centered in the shot center, just with a little bit more, towards the back half would have been plenty to get that there. So give it a chance. You can see with the offset, gave me a good chance to be able to make that one. Looks like my opponent able to get that one. So sure enough, it is going to give you a very reasonable makeable chance. And there you see, that's the, ability to be able to make that one. So, very makeable chance there. And, especially with the lower wind. In Tour 11, it's a tough make, but it's still manageable. But when you can get that wind down to, 5 miles per hour, gives you a very good opportunity to make that in these lower tour. So good luck with that hole, guys, and catch you guys on the next one.